Hey, CVCS Baseball Podcast. Coach Clemente Bonilla here, head baseball coach for CVCS, and I'm very excited to introduce our guest for episode 10. He is a 2015 grad of CVCS. He also was a bachelor's at Vanguard University and his master's at Colorado Christian University, where he played baseball. So he was a student athlete and just one of the most impactful players and coaches that we've had come through CVCS. DJ Sutorius.
Thank you for that warm welcome, Josh. I appreciate it. Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
Yeah, good to see you, man. Finally got a
break,
you know?
Yeah, we've been trying. I wanted you to get on this one of the earlier episodes, but you're a busy man now.
Yeah,
you're very busy.
Your career,
yeah.
Sure.
Well, I know we're going to talk tons about baseball and about CVC, but why don't we kind of go right into what you're doing right now? You're an athletic director.
Yeah, I'm an athletic director at Norton Science and Language Academy, and it's a K-12 public charter out in San Bernardino. And it's a great opportunity for me to kind of just get knowledge on how to run a sports program. And I got that experience from a middle school level, but as high school, there's working with CIF, there's a lot more rules and guidelines to follow, and those games are way more competitive. So it's been cool to kind of like learn that side, and I've been enjoying it. The drive kind of is a little rough, but that's the only rough part about it. But I feel like I'm learning a lot, gaining a lot of experience, and being well liked out there. And it's been a different change too, because the baseball team. It's our first year having a baseball team, and I get to be the coach. So I look forward to it. We have 11 players, and I just kind of really lean on to how when you first came to CVCS and how you brought that program to what it is today. So I kind of have that same aspirations and look forward to doing that.
That's cool. If anybody can do it, it would be you. Yeah. But that's crazy to think. 2008 season, I opened with 11 players. So it's been a long time since I've had that few, but they're still great memories, and it's a different kind of process at that point, but you got to start somewhere, and you and I have talked all the time, and you have that passion and drive to build a program. You also have the baseball background and foundation, which we're gonna get into, of course. But so this is your first semester as a high school athletic director.
Yeah, that's great.
What was something that maybe hit you by surprise that you would not have saw coming, and like what is something that you feel like you really hit the ground running well with?
Oh, I feel like something that I hit the ground really well with is being able to schedule. Like we're already scheduling out for the fall semester next year for like volleyball season and stuff. That's something that I can think like 8-12 months in advance, and I just credit that to like the times at CBO and dealing with the parents there. They want to know their winter break schedule and stuff like that. So now translating it into here, like I kind of can see, and like I reach out to the parents a month in advance about events, just kind of keep everyone in the same loop, which was something that was like a problem there before, was not everyone was knowing where the games were at efficiently, and the buses weren't coming on time. So to me, that was just like an easy thing. For me, it's a Spanish speaking school. It's a dual immersion. So I'm like the only one on campus that doesn't speak any Spanish. So that's at first that kind of was hard, and I've learned to kind of make those adjustments. I have a great assistant, and she's a student activity clerk, and she's amazing, and she kind of helps me out with the phone calls and the emails and just whatever it needs, because sometimes I might get emails or calls in Spanish and need translation. So that was a little warp, and just seeing the needs that school needs for as far as equipment and stuff, and trying to strategize with our budget to get them the necessary equipment and feeling good and playing well. So yeah.
Well, my wife Vanessa is a courtroom interpreter for San Diego County. So if you need a little side interpretation or translation, you could always let Vanessa know. We'll get you squared away too.
If I have a phrase or two, I can come to you guys.
That's really neat. I mean, you got that commute too. You might want to start putting in some bilingual. Yeah, there you go. Sure. That's really interesting. And before that, I know you were the last couple of years coaching with me here at CVCS on the varsity, and also just helping the overall program, lower levels, and everything as we do. But at the same time, your day job was athletic director for the middle school at, remind me?
Yeah, St. Anne. It's
St.
up
Anne.
the street.
Mhm.
It's in Laguna Niguel. Yeah, it's a K-8. It was a great experience. I'm very humbled and thankful to have that opportunity because it kind of, helped me like launch into that high school, which is definitely my passion. Working with CIF, that's a whole new government, self-bodied government too that you're kind of like working with, and you're like showing up periodically to kind of update them on things. And yeah, I really appreciate the time because I got to like learn how to, deal with more than just baseball, because like there's more sports to be offered, and that's kind of all my background is baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I never really played other sports. I played like soccer. That's about it. I wasn't like playing 4 or 5 different sports. So it was cool to like, now I know a lot about basketball. Now I know a lot about volleyball. And, sports, I learned a lot of life lessons through sports, and that's kind of like my passion, is to try to get the students to see those life lessons through the sports too.
That's so cool. I think most people know that I was a PE teacher my first 11, 12 years that I was here on the, on campus full-time working for CVC. But I think a little known fact is I had 6 years of being the athletic director for the junior high elementary school.
Yeah.
And so one thing that we share is St. Anne's was in the PAL League. I think they're still in the PAL League, right?
They're still in the PAL
So
League.
I remember having a stint where that was something that was not in my bag of tricks either. I was very knowledgeable with baseball. I was a physical education background for college, and so I knew a lot about sports, especially baseball, but administrative things definitely wasn't my forte, and that really opened my eyes. The scheduling, the referees, the travel, home games, away games, the snack bars, or whatever things that need to go into that. And then there's a rainy day, it's an outdoor sport. Our game on? Is it off? Are we canceling? Got to make that call by whatever time, and then reschedule and let the umpires know and let the referees know. And it's just a lot goes into it that people don't realize behind the scenes. That
a lot goes into it. And
there's a lot of curveballs. You got to like adapt, pivot quick.
Yeah, and you gotta stay calm. You gotta make adjustments, and that's like stuff that you've taught us. And what I like about it too is like, I constantly have to explain to like parents and like people like what I do, because it's like I'm not a teacher, and I'm not a coach either. I do coach on the baseball team, but I'm not like coaching all the different sport teams. And so kind of like you said, I was diving deeper into exactly what I do. And yeah, there's a lot of behind the scene work, and it's a lot of fun, and I enjoy it a lot. Yeah, it's definitely the career I want to be in.
That's cool. So now let's backtrack to your last year of playing collegiate baseball.
Yeah.
You were afforded an extra year because of COVID.
Yeah.
And you were bachelor's already done at Vanguard.
Yeah. And then I was kind of like looking at their master program, and they only had like 2, and I wanted something a little bit differently. And my coach at Vanguard used to coach at Colorado Christian before, and he just reached out and kind of put that connection together. And I knew the shortstop there too, and we played like summer ball, and we actually played a high school Arizona tournament together with MLP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of a long connection there. So I just took the chance that my mom moved out there too. So there was like a lot of like cool reasons why I wanted to kind of spend my last year there, and it was a great fit. I got my master's degree, and
What was that?
it was in public administration. So
Okay.
I worked for the city of Dana Point when I freshly got out of school. And then I was like, okay, I want to stick with sports.
Okay.
Stay in the sports world. So that's where I made a pivot after that. Yeah.
That's really neat. And you kind of helped create a little bit of a relationship piece for CVCS. We were able to send Johnny Tewinkle over to CCU, and he had two seasons there before he portaled to Biola. And then we have Luke Weaver there now, and hopefully he'll do some great things like Johnny did. And
they got a new head coach over there too, Andrew Liberty. He was the assistant hitting coach, or he was the first assistant. He was the hitting coach. I had nothing but great conversations with him. And as a pitcher, I was a pitcher. You kind of want to talk to the hitters and seeing like, hey, what are you thinking in these situations and stuff. And getting another year, you're another year older. So it was like on that team, I was like 24, and Andrew was 25 at the time, 26, and we have a bunch of teams of guys that are 19, 20. So I felt a real cool connection. So I know CCU's in a great spot moving forward with him as the head coach. So I look forward to hearing from Weaver and stuff how he likes it.
Yeah, and then we have Logan Kelly and Heath Carlson sending Heath over to the same conference.
Yeah.
They'll be up the street a few hours Colorado State Pueblo.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of neat that connection and that experience that you got there, and being closer to your mom, and being able to finish out your career in a new experience, and have a master's degree kind of paid for from it. So
100%,
hey, your left arm paid dividends there. Tell us, so we'll kind of move backwards. So then you were at Vanguard.
Yeah, I was.
And let's just kind of move from that way.
Yeah, I'll just keep going backwards. So I was at Vanguard, got a great opportunity to play my senior year there. But prior to that, I was at Biola, where Johnny is right now. They were I was there right after for my junior and senior year, and then my senior year, which is 2018, they cut the whole coaching staff right before the season, and that one was that one got me a little bit. Didn't really want to have my senior year go out with hiring a squad right before the season, with 6 weeks left before the season started. So I opted to redshirt. I've never redshirted yet, so I did that. And when you do that, you get to learn the business sides of things. So got my scholarship pulled for making that move. And that's what brought me to Vanguard. And before Biola, before Vanguard, I was at Saddleback. And those two schools were kind of reaching out to me from Saddleback at junior college. So honestly, if Saddleback was a 4-year school, like that would be the dream school. I think that would be anyone's dream school. Like Summer McCartney and his staff is a great, and they won a championship.
They just won,
recently,
yeah.
So it's a great spot.
And Jake Bouchane played a big role in that.
No,
Yeah, he had quite an impactful playoffs, conference.
Yeah, that guy's a stud. He runs really well, and he's been doing a great job in his outfield work now, and he's a solid college player now.
Yeah, very excited for him. And then before Saddleback, you left CVCS to go to Coppin State, which is in the MEAC.
Yeah, MEAC. It's in Baltimore, Maryland. 18-year-old DJ really wanted to get outside of the Orange County bubble, and I definitely got that. I wanted to play Division I baseball, and I really liked that opportunity. When I think back on it, I don't have any regrets. I just think about what was I thinking in the moment, and at the end of that season, that freshman year, I went from 85 to sitting 88 and touching 90 every start, and so that got a lot of eyes, and I didn't really, put any connections of there's East Coast scouts and West Coast scouts. So I was just a lot of guys were we're going to keep tabs on you. So I don't know. I just decided to take that opportunity to maybe, before the transfer portal was even a thing,
right,
to go back to junior college and see kind of how that went. And I also too have probably a different outlook than maybe some players. I never really had a dream school. My thing was my parents were honest, and they were college is going to be on you. So I was always having a 3.5, and I was telling the guys earlier at practice today, making sure to keep their grades well. Just having a 3.5 was every school was offering me $10,000 in academic aid, and then the athletic aid was helpful too. And so that's kind of what drove me to pick schools and kind of venture out. I wanted to take a chance on myself, but also Biola and Vanguard, they were a great spiritual place to go, and I also missed that component leaving CVCS. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of reasons for the transfers and wanting to go to the different schools, and that was kind of the route. Never the route that I saw, but it was the route that God gave me, and I'm super thankful from that. I always talk about the different cultures I saw. I saw really great cultures, and I saw cultures that need a lot of work, and I kind of saw like why is there negative pushback, and now I'm in a career of being an athletic director at a school that is having their very first senior class this year. This 2025 is their first senior class, so it's a brand new high school. So how do you set culture there, and then what kind of culture am I going to bring there? So I feel like if I didn't have the journey of like seeing a bunch of different schools, like I maybe wouldn't have this this mindset, and I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah, that's for sure unique. So your freshman year, you're at a Division I school in a small conference way out on the East Coast in Baltimore. I remember talking with you on the phone, and you had a couple really big outings against some pretty good schools. Remind me a couple of those. Did you start a game against Georgia?
We played not Georgia State. We played against them, but my very first start was against New Jersey Institute of Technology. Got a win. So nice. I can always say that. I was really excited. I think the biggest claim was getting a win against University of Richmond. Okay. That was a nice campus and good program, and caught them on a midweek game maybe. So that's we had being a freshman, you kind of pitch anywhere, and it was my turn to pitch then, and I was lucky to get the win.
That's so cool.
The best part is I still have a couple of videos that I actually just watched it with a buddy. They were playing like Bieber songs when I was pitching. So it's just really funny seeing like now looking back, and like all my warm-up pitches are just with like Bieber in the background. And
that's hilarious.
It's tough. It's really rough to watch.
That is a cool place. University of Richmond, I've been there too. It's really a neat place to play a game, and it's the capital of Virginia. So just kind of a cool vibe over there. Yeah. So Saddleback, you come to Summer McCartney. We love him.
Yeah. JB Glasscock is still the pitching coach over there. Same guy. Yeah. Nice. Anytime I got the opportunity to talk to anyone at Saddleback that was like doing any after game interviews or whatever, I was always giving credit to him. He had that mindset, he's learned from his failures, and he definitely shares it. And I really respect him a lot, because it's hard when at junior college, especially, I was telling you about the rules that they're changing now, that, I don't even think they're going to count eligibility time if you go to junior college first. And I just think that's going to even make everyone want to go to JCs more. And when I was there was already 40 guys, and, you really only need 30 guys or 25 guys to travel. And so you're at practice with 40 dudes, and then you're at a game with 25 guys and only 9 guys play. So it's just like, it's just a cutthroat type of school, and the type of the conferences like that. So I have nothing but respect for any JUCO bandits out there,
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a more just pertinent kind of lane to get yourself to the next level.
Yeah.
Junior college baseball has already been, pretty strong, especially in this area, but it's going to get stronger if those rules change officially. Yeah. And then also it's going to make it more difficult for, seniors in high school to find a Division I job, especially as a position player. I think arms are always tangible. You get a guy who throws 92 and has a good spin rate and feel with his off speed. I think that's not going to change. They'll probably get D1 jobs out of high school. But position players, even a really talented position player, it just won't make a lot of sense if they could get a 20, 21-year-old 4-year eligible, basically a freshman, but he's not a freshman. He's just played 2 years at JUCO. So it's like you're getting a freshman who's had 2 extra years of becoming a man and maturing and has college experience facing arms that are college arms. Yeah. It just makes it really doesn't make a lot of sense why they would pick seniors in high school anymore. So I think it's going to really make Division II and Division III baseball even stronger than ever. And so it's going to close the gap. Yeah. I think there will be way more Division II and III teams out there in the country that could potentially battle with the Division I program, where there was a huge space, I think, in the years past.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said.
Yeah. That's neat. So you were only 1 year at Saddleback, correct? And then
it was my sophomore year.
So let's get into when did you? I take the California Collegiate League summer job.
Yeah.
Was that after your first year Biola?
No, second. So I was on my way to Vanguard. So that was actually, I appreciate you grabbing me during that time too, because I needed game reps as well, because I didn't play that spring. So that summer was awesome. Got to play with high caliber guys, and was definitely prepared for Vanguard. And Vanguard was going to lead up to this special year with that group, but then COVID cut it short. And I was the only one that left from that group and from at Vanguard, and then they went pretty far that next year. They got to go to the World Series. They didn't win it, but they got the opportunity to go for the NAIA World Series. So it was cool to cheer on those guys at that time. Yeah, I think the funny thing is at Saddleback, they did not want me to go to Biola. They really wanted me to hang in there and stuff. But that's why I don't try to live in regret. I just think about myself in that moment. Come July, it's July, you finish Saddleback, you're seeing your buddies again, and everyone's asking where you're going, and you have no idea where you're going. And then school starts 4 weeks from now, and you have no idea what school you're going to, and you're just trying to see if some draft guys are gonna sign or not sign. And so everyone's in this little. And that was not something I wanted to be in. And I, during that time, I already had offers from Vanguard and Biola, and I didn't want to leave them hanging. And, I just took that chance and missed that, like I said, spiritual side too. And I didn't think the D1s that were interested
I remember
not strong.
UT Irvine, Santa Barbara, Santa Clara, UC Davis. They were all kind of let's see
how
the draft goes. We're probably going to lose a couple guys. We're going to have some money free up. And I just remember that you were having a hard time being patient for that. And that's okay. I mean, everyone's different. Some people are, hey, okay, I'll just wait and see. And they're okay with kind of just living on the edge a little bit and just go with the flow at the end. And I think with you, your personality too, which kind of fits into your new role of athletic director, where you become very meticulous. You want to be on a schedule, and I get it. And so part of this whole process is learning to be comfortable in what makes you comfortable on the field, off the field. You're still a student too, trying to make sure that you get that degree. 100%. So it made sense to me at that time. And then what was exciting for me, DJ, was that, and I know you're a fan of the show, so you've listened to a few of these episodes, and we had my lefty episode where I had AJ and Sammy Eichler on, and of course some of the statistics show that, two of the greatest high school CVC pitchers ever. Especially left. If you want, just throw left-handed, but forget lefty, righty, anything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And we were naming all kinds of guys, and your name came up too and stuff. I would say you're right outside of that bubble where you're the next tier.
Yeah.
Maybe you, Ryan Keppel, a couple guys who've made huge impacts. Even Josh Hernandez at times made some impacts. Just guys I could think of, but you and Keppel were probably right behind Sammy and AJ as the most impactful lefties. I know you beat Santa Margarita in your sophomore campaign, which was a huge win for us at that time.
Yeah.
And kudos to Coach Bacani at the time at Santa Margarita, who was willing to give a small Division VI school an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because he believed in what we were trying to do here. He believed in me as a buddy who played pro ball with him, and just was hey, I got arms. You want to get ready? We're ready to throw some good arms at you. And he got to see that with you, which was really neat. But I still remember you being just this really gritty pitcher for us in high school. But, a bubble D1 guy, the velocity was hit or miss, good command. You always had good secondary stuff, but the velo was not overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's probably why there wasn't a overwhelming amount of Division I schools going after you.
Absolutely.
But then I fast forward to you're just finishing up Biola. I have an opportunity now to create. The general manager did a lot of creating of that roster.
Yeah.
But he now hires me to be the manager, and I get to have some say in creating or finalizing that offer. And of course, right away I'm I want to get Carson Matthews over here. I want to get Andre Antone over here. We invited Zach Mendez. And then I was pitching, right? I was well, I got to get DJ Sutorius over here. And I had heard that you've been improving and maybe even had some glimpses of watching you play catch and stuff, but I had not really seen you pitch in years. Like, I never had an opportunity to really get out there and see you throw much. I think I watched one opportunity you had at Saddleback, but I didn't see you at four-year institutions. So now we're in the California Collegiate League, and this is a good league. There's great players all over the place. I mean, most of them are Division I studs from big schools. And you were a dominant pitcher in that league and throwing high 80s, 90, hitting 91 sometimes. And, like your stuff, you had this phenomenal breaking ball in high school, but now you kind of created the point where you had a curveball and a slider, maybe even a cutter. The bag of tricks you had in your arsenal had just grown. Yeah. Your command. It was just so exciting to see you pitch against some of the best. I mean, guys coming out of Tennessee or Mississippi, and they're throwing like mid-90s and shutting us down, but you're shutting them down, just dealing.
87.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you were throwing it up there, jamming people, breaking wood bats. It was definitely neat to see the improvement, and also it just shows kids, like, don't stop throwing, man. Like, if you love playing baseball and you have an opportunity with grades and with that arm or with the skill set to get academic and athletic money and continue your career, this Division I or bust mentality needs to go, because first of all, it is going whether they like it or not. Yeah. I mean, that's just the rules, or NCAA and JUCO and everybody's making these rules. You're like the quintessential portal COVID, like, it just didn't quite happen yet. But the reason why it happened was because people like yourself, they were seeing the advantages of having a redshirt year, a COVID year, and all of a sudden being 24 years old, and just how good and dominant you could be in that realm. And now they're making it just like more legal to do it instead of waiting for a pandemic. Yeah. They're just like, let's just make this legal. Yeah. But the thing is, what people forget too is it buys you the valuable time. Like, you're an athlete that's working, and kids who never play after high school, of course, they're going to say, I was really good in high school when I was 18, but then they never played again, right? So now they don't know how good they really could have been. Yeah. And if they have a passion for it and can get some school paid for, I know for me personally too, like getting signed to play professionally, there was that age 22, 23, age 24, what a huge gap compared to age 18 to 19 to 20, 21. I thought I got, right? But man, like, and I wasn't a pitcher, but like, I could just see my arm, new level, my speed. I was always fast, but all of a sudden I started getting like this man strength, and my arm was better. My speed was better. And then of course you're wiser, your approach, your understanding of the game, your just understanding of yourself, controlling your own emotions, knowing what prepares you to be successful. A 23-year-old is going to trump a 17-year-old, 18-year-old all day. Yeah. And so kids, if you're listening to this, I mean, DJ is a great example of, in high school, he was really good, but he wasn't overwhelming with his skill set. It was just like a good, gritty player that knew he needed to throw strikes. Kind of like Brian Rao was in episode 2, is the same, going to Chapman out of Laguna Hills. Just somebody who was really gritty and then put in the work, got to know his body, got to know himself, got stronger, and just kept grinding. And then 4 or 5 years later, he's a dude that potentially was going to get signed, to get drafted, throwing 90 miles an hour when, you were on a good day hitting 84, 85, in high school.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just neat to see that if you continue on, there's a lot of growth that could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very fortunate for that. I think like having the time to just be a PO and just focusing on just being a pitcher really helped my skill set, and just I've always had like good movement, but then I was able to kind of locate my pitches a lot more, and I was able to kind of throw harder with my fastball and get that mindset going. And I just think back at all the times playing at CVCS, and I just really enjoyed the game. I felt like no matter what, I always had a lot of heart. I know I've been the most talented guy or the biggest guy, but boy, did I want to like come through for the team. And I think the way you were able to, coach everyone, especially that group that we had when we went to CIF, it's just like you were able to kind of like bring the best out of everyone. And I don't know, you really understand how to articulate that as a 16-year-old, 17, 18-year-old. but like more now, like when you think about it, you're just like, wow, you're able to like get the best out of AJ, the best out of me, and like Parker was always clutch, and I always enjoyed having your statistical analysis on on all the different situations, and that to me was just made me love the game even more and just have a stronger passion. So yeah, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Those were fun years, because you were part of the growing out of us being so small and a small school, small schedule and things like that. To, I think in your years you saw us develop a JV team, and then we started scheduling, big school. I think your junior year, we had a gauntlet where we played Santa Margarita, we played Harvard Westlake, we played Notre Dame.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just like, what's this division school doing? But we were ready to just burst out of that, and you and that group sort of catapulted us into the next, divisions. And then the group that was like freshmen when you were seniors, they didn't know any different, and you had set that standard. So then they just kept catapulting us to, you took us to Division 5 and then Division 4. They took us from Division 4 to Division 3, and then you get to enter the Randalls and T-Winkles and those guys, and now they're like, we're going to push this to Division 2, Division 1, and it's just like you guys were the trendsetter of that, and cool. it was really fun. Yeah, it was just so fun, and I think you guys caught me at the right time too, where I had enough years away from a player, because I think the first couple of years that I got here, I think I was a cool coach, but I was maybe like too cool. Like I was just like, I'm a player. I could just like throw off the mound and like strike everybody out. Like I wasn't even a pitcher, but it was just fun to like gas people and stuff. But like I was really like, I remember I ran 60s with some of the guys, like because they wanted to race me and stuff like. So I was still in that mode. Yeah. By the time I got with you guys, like I could show you guys some things a little bit, but I wasn't so much like, let's race or like let's do this. I don't want to like. I wasn't part of that yet. I was far enough removed where I was like, okay, I know what I could do when I was a player. Now I'm trying to as a coach, get my players to buy into the things that I could do as a player. I want them to do now. And how can I explain that to them from a standpoint where, if I have to show them, I'll do it, but verbally get to the chalkboard, whatever, get other people to show them. Example, we had like different pro guys coming around too. Like there were still, just a lot of connections to the pro scene. So there'd be guys that were throwing pens or, or getting some BP. And so you guys got to see a lot of neat things and still young enough to where, I was fired up and passionate about this group and what we could do. And not that I'm not now, but it's still a little different,
It's more mature.
Yeah, exactly.
I get you. As I'm growing, because, even seeing, while I was talking about Biola and Vanguard, during those years, I was close enough to kind of stay by CVCS. So I got to see like that, like how CVCS is growing after my departure and after I graduated. And it's really cool to see how much all the boys really care. And, I'm getting old now when, guys are graduating when I was like coaching them. I don't know if like people know, but like when I was at CVCS, you helped me out, and like you saw my interest in coaching, and you got me like a coaching job within a travel ball club, and then even after CVCS, like sticking with that, and I've changed my coaching style too over the years. Different environments, going from here, which is a heavy baseball school, to going to another school that has never had a baseball team, and so that's gonna have different coaching styles. So I've learned a lot, and I've seen how you have grown and changed, and now you're not saying watch this anymore. I haven't seen that anymore. That was the scariest thing back in the day, was anytime you're like, let me show you how it's done, especially like hitting too, because it's like this guy hasn't grabbed a bat like all day, and then he's just like turning on a pitch.
Oh, man. Just like, I know. I remember I turned on Dylan Baird in the air squad. That was so funny. But yeah, that goes away eventually. Unfortunately, I think somewhere around 39, 40, 41 maybe, I was like, let me take a round of batting practice, and I'm barreling balls, and they barely like 4-hop the wall, and I'm like, okay, that's dumb. I'm done
It's
taking
finally
BP.
done for you.
Yeah, it felt better when they were still going over the wall. It was brutal, but
See, my peak, like you were saying, was like that 24, 25, but your peak was, all the way through 38.
yeah, right. Now the funny thing though is like people don't realize, because you went on to be this great pitcher and had a unique career and perspective in college baseball, because you played for 5 schools, like over a 6-year period with COVID redshirting. And the year you redshirted at Biola, you did come. We brought you in and you coached our freshman squad. Or was it JV squad? JV squad. And then
Senzo was my shortstop.
Yeah, is that great? Or so you we threw in a year of coaching there, and then you went back to playing 2 more years of college baseball, and then returned back to coaching. But prior to that, then you were helping out in club, and then I first met you through club and through Ruben Corral.
Yeah.
And you played on the OC Extreme with us. Well, it was around the same time. Like you joined CVC, and then we were doing the OC Extreme stuff with Ruben, and Ruben would tell me that you were going to make a great coach. Like before I even knew you, he was like, this guy has like a coach's mind. And so we always knew, I mean, he would just advocate about that for you. And then I could see it too. And people don't know in high school that you were really impactful as a position player for us. You were really smooth in the outfield. You just a great table setter, like understood your role. You weren't someone that's trying to hit bombs all the time. You got the bunt down. You hit a runner over. But you also knew, like, when you needed to get a sac fly and get into one, you could drive it pretty deep. Might not go over the wall, but it was going to be enough to do whatever, needed to get done.
First or something. He's good with his speed. It was good enough to get the job done.
Yeah, exactly. And so you were just really cerebral and a tremendous outfielder. So that was fun, and I'm sure that's going to help your coaching too, just being an impactful position player up until you started your college career. So we let's as we were working backwards, like let's get to high school now, So you come over, you went to Capo Public School, your freshman year, and then blows my mind that you only pitched like 6 innings that year or something like that. I can't remember what it was exactly.
I only played 7 innings. It was crazy. Yeah, not even pitched.
Blew my mind, right? So then
bench rider.
Yeah. So then I think Ruben Corral had mentioned to you, like, maybe you should check out CVC, and then your mom called and all that process started happening, and then boom, you're in. Like, you just decided that this is where you wanted to be, and you hit the ground, running. You were such a neat addition to the program, a neat addition to our school in general. Remind me, did you had to do a sit out period that sophomore year?
No, that 1 year I didn't. It was like the last year.
Oh wow, okay.
Last year.
Yeah. And then so SOP hadn't started yet.
Yeah, what happened was we had our first baseman didn't have the grades, and so then I became a varsity player. Like I was just kind of pitching for you that sophomore year in relief, and getting all my experience on the JV level as far as like hitting and all that, and fielding. And then second half of the season I got to be like an everyday first baseman.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I was like the only lefty left.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so you played first base there, yeah, and you were pretty smooth at first too. And then outfield is where I remember you playing some serious good
you
center
told me
field.
I was going to be an outfielder after that exit meeting. Okay. I think that was just thanks for covering, and now you go cover center field with French leaving.
Oh, that's right, man. Good memory. Okay, so that's 2013 because French graduated 2013, right? So so Daniel French exit. You kind of help out center when you're not pitching. And then AJ sort of bounced into center sometimes too.
It's like that's how it kind of went, When AJ was pitching, then I would be center field and vice versa. And I just, like I said, like you really explained and showed us our roles. And I loved Capo. I played for like the feeder team too, and I wanted to be. I remember crying and seeing my name when I made the tryouts, because there was like 68 kids trying out for 18 spots.
Big time, especially then.
Back then too, they were cutting kids every day, so you just see like 12 kids like be upset and stuff. So I always wanted to make that squad, but Ruben and you just saw, I guess, something different, and I really appreciate having a coach that believed and trusted me and let me go, fail if I needed to fail and to learn from that moment. I feel like there's a lot of times you let me like learn from moments like that rather than maybe, statistically speaking, pull this guy out so you can win a ball game or something. But, you let those moments, for me, like, fail. And I learned a lot from that. And that's kind of honestly what made me a stronger player was because of that versus just kind of just waiting my turn and hoping I get to play. So I also remember, too, that, we were playing the first time I met you, you were wanting an extra pitcher. And again, like, I was one of those players I always told coach I could play any position, but like no one really put me as a pitcher. And then you were just, we were like short on arms. You just needed a guy to finish one inning. And then I pitched and, I was throwing nothing but strikes. And he's like, where? And you're like, how come you haven't pitched like this summer? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I just like, that's what I'm trying to figure out too, and it was kind of a cool situation. And I'm very fortunate that I made that switch over. And CVCS, I have nothing but great things to say about it. It was a great spiritual school. I never really grew up with faith, so it was awesome to like, learn that. As far as a class, I've been learning every day on it. It was a great academic school, great challenge, and then obviously baseball was a huge challenge. And it's really cool, to be honest, to really see like 80, like I went to that practice, I would say like 80% of those guys, like I used to coach when they were like, before CVCS, whether they were 9 or 13 or whatnot. And it's really cool because like, I remember those kids, they didn't know CVCS, at that time. They just like know Dana or whatever. And it's cool to, just be like a strong face for it, even though I'm done graduating and now I'm at like another school and stuff, but I just have nothing but respect for the school and enjoyed my time here and stuff.
Yeah, no, I loved it when you came and spoke at the end of last year and kind of reminded the guys of what it means to be a CVCS baseball player, like the CVC Eagle way.
Yeah.
That was really a neat thing to hear you say and talk about and elaborate on. But yeah, like it's just what you're doing now over at your school, and it's if you're just having the first graduating classes of seniors this year, so obviously it's very young and it's school. For CVCS, that would have been 1976 or something, because 73 was their first year. So I'm sure like 1976 might have been their first class of seniors or whatnot. Now you're like 50 years removed. It's sometimes neat to think about, well, what was it like when it first was in its infancy? And you're a part of that. And I don't think I was not, I mean, the school had been here 33 years when I got here. So it was not like I was in the athletics, or it was not in its infancy. It was just rooted in a small school setting, schedule, kind of, there wasn't an off-season practice or off-season scrimmages. It was like, hey, we'll start February 1st. Exactly. Like we'll pick up a bat. And it was kind of like, okay, well, let's bring a new mentality, like a mentality that's more serious to a baseball team that's trying to like, make an impact in the county and the community. And I think you're going to be great because like, there's no magic pill, and we've talked about this on this episode a couple times with the players. But there's no magic pill with the coaching too and growing a program. I wish there was, but there's not. It's truly good, hard, old-fashioned. Get out there, and the fact that you're young. You have the energy, you have the time, you have the foundation of knowledge with your background. You just got to start shooting branches everywhere you can. Into the community, so that people just start to know what the school is, what the baseball program is about, what any of the you're the athletic director, so you're probably trying to grow all the sports, right? So that's going to be tricky. I mean, I just had to try to grow baseball at first, although over the last few years with the admissions, I'm working hard to help all the coaches get their kids in that want to come here and potentially be a student athlete. But I mean, I think it's just good old-fashioned hard work. Like, get out there and any clinics you can do. Coaches, little leagues, players, umpires, you just, whether it's free or whether you make a little money from it, but camps and clinics, you just go to everything. There wasn't like a weekend off for me for 10 years. It was just every single weekend. Where's the new place I can go? What little league can I go? What coaches, what umpire clinics? I'm just going to go say hi, shake hands, maybe teach somebody an infield thing or say some hitting thing. But it was more like, let me just tell you about CVCS. Let me tell you about what I'm doing at CVCS.
Yeah.
And that first 5, 7, 8, 10 years sometimes could be a little bit like, oh man, like I put all this hard work and I still run into so many people who are like, I've never heard of your school.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, we're right down the street. Like, how have you never heard of us? But so sometimes I think it takes even longer than you want. I think when you're your age, you're like, I'm hoping like 3, 4 years, 5 years. It could take a little longer, but
I was just talking to Pastor Jeff about that when he was asking about how it was going, and it's all about like trusting the process and day in and day out, like living by example. Because I feel like I want to help the kids, and I already have like the answer, but sometimes they're not in the space to receive that answer, and sometimes you just have to go out there and just kind of like live it by example. And that's honestly, I felt like just trying to get senior day to be a thing at the school is hard. Like trying to add all these things, it's you can only add so many things with a certain budget too. So I just been I'm just jotting notes down on like these 1 year. I was huge on maybe when I was a student, like back then it was always like have your 1 year, 3 year, 5 year plan. So it's like I'm like huge on that on every aspect of life. So I've kind of have that for a career on like what I want to do, and I'm hoping to see that progression, and I'm just going to live by example day in and day out and stuff. And got a great wife who also went to CVCS.
I was going to get into that. Me and Vanessa were so excited to get invited to you guys' wedding, and what a beautiful couple you guys are. So how many years has it been?
We've been together for 10 years now, and we've been married for 3. And now we have a kid. We're expecting a son.
Oh, listeners, you hear that?
Yeah.
Breaking news. Little Sutorius on the way.
No, honestly, it is breaking news for sure. We haven't really posted it about it or anything. We just kind of been enjoying the moment, and it's been a great blessing so far, and just excited for June to kind of come around.
Yeah. Well, that is so cool, man. Congratulations to that. We'll focus on the athletic skill set process and not talk about the process of making babies, but at the same time, you know what? We need great people out there in the world bringing up kids and coaching kids and just doing things. And DJ is like, that's the other thing that has helped expand CVC to where we've been, was eventually all the hard work I individually put in to try to get those branches of reaching the community. Then it started turning into guys like AJ, guys like you, Sammy Eichler, Parker Koss, and people who all kind of dipped into helping coach and started to like, do their own branches. Yeah. And so now I was like, instead of me having like 6 branches I made myself, now I have 4 other coaches with 2 or 3 branches of themselves. Yeah. And so it's like, now we got 18 branches out there in the community trying to pull people back or at least build awareness of what we're doing.
Yeah. It's cool to see your coaching tree.
Yeah. So it's like and now you're part of that, but then you're going to make, your own and all that. And then you're going to be coaching the Little League and all that with your kids and stuff. So, well, we're getting shorter on time here. It's been such a fun time just to reminisce and talk about your life and your coaching. And I do want to ask you some questions, and I have them here in my trusted notes, and we'll kind of go. It's not really like we did like points and against. There was a couple guys here, and we're doing like game. But this will be more like just a Q&A. If you want to answer it kind of quick, like don't think about it too long, but you could take a little bit of time. You are a graduate of 2015.
Yes.
So I guess let's start with at CVCS. Who was your favorite teacher?
My favorite teacher was Miss Justice. She was an English teacher. She was just someone that was always kind of like there for you. And English was not my favorite subject, and she always found a way to make it interesting. And so like now being this age, you have a lot of respect for that. And nice for that. Yeah.
She's not here now. I think a few years ago they moved to Texas, but I'll text her a copy of this episode. That's really neat. She was great. And a little story about her too is she played softball at Vanguard, I believe, or was it Chapman? I can't remember if it was Chapman or Vanguard, but she played softball in college, and we did a softball, like the girls on the team versus the faculty. And I remember she was playing third base and just a absolute vacuum cleaner over there. It was so cool. Yeah, it was so fun that she could still pick and everything. It was really fun. Okay. Your senior year, 2015, you went to prom. I probably know this one. Who was your prom date?
Oh yeah, my wife, then girlfriend, Hannah Doherty, and I remember that one was a fun time.
So it was a good prom date.
Yeah, it was a good prom date.
Did you go to prom your junior year?
Yes, I did.
And was it Hannah as well?
No,
it was not. Okay, we'll stop there. Okay, that's awesome. Okay, so now we're getting the timeline here. Okay, all right. 2015, you do you have a? I guess it doesn't have to be 2015. Any of your years in high school, do you have a non-baseball favorite moment or story?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, when I think of CVCS, I liked how they did career day. It was really cool talking to like some of the parents that, bring their kids to CVCS. And I remember like a border patrol agent, but like my fondest memory was Chef Baird, who's in the chef now here at the school. But back then I think he was at like Bodine. And it's bringing in like turtle, like a piece of bread in the shape of a turtle, like, and like different animal styles. And it was just kind of cool listening to all the different careers, and you could be anything you want at that age. So it was really cool to see this possibilities. And yeah, it's cool to see that he's the chef now, making excellent meals. I was actually substituting a little bit here, so I remember catching some good meals. And Dylan Baird was a player and graduated in 2016. He was a really good buddy of mine, really good buddy.
I remember. So that's cool. He brought his dad or invited his dad to career day, and so before he was even working here, you saw him as a chef on career day. That's so cool. All right, good story. I didn't even know that one. All right, and then 2014 we win the CIF Championship.
Yes.
First in school history.
Yes.
You remember the name of the school, I'm assuming?
That we played?
Yeah, that we played.
I am blanking. It's that school that's now huge. All the celebs go there. I keep
Sierra Canyon.
Yeah.
Sierra Canyon High School.
Sierra Canyon.
Okay, but we play the game at UC Riverside.
Yeah.
Of course, AJ throws that beautiful no-hitter gem. I think AJ actually makes the last out himself, right? The comebacker slips, throws the first. Then we just go into a huge celebration, dog pile mode. Do you remember the first person you hugged?
Yes, I do. Can I tell you a quick story before I tell you?
Yes, please. This is what this is for.
That fall, I don't know if you remember, I still have a video of it. That fall, you told us to practice a dog pile. Mm-hmm. And
I do remember that.
We all practiced that dog pile, and it was one big dog pile, and it was awesome. And it was cool to like fast forward to even have that moment again. And this time we actually did that job, and we actually won the whole thing. And it was just, how do you expect that? We trained it, might as well have that one dog pile. And it was crazy to have 3 dog piles, and really just more like 2 dog piles, and Baird and I just loving each other. It was kind of crazy.
So Dylan Baird was the first one that you hugged.
Okay. It was the only one.
Chef Baird career day. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of crazy. There was like the group of guys meeting AJ, and then there was a kind of a group of guys meeting behind the mound. And so then I got caught not knowing where to go, really. And next thing you know, I just got full-on football tackled. And
Dylan Baird did play football for the CVC Eagles.
I was stoked it was Baird.
Yeah. Did you play 1 year football?
Not for CVCS.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you did.
It's a good thing I did.
That's a cool memory. And yeah, it's something, it's a little taboo. Like, I don't think I would do it regularly, and I haven't, where I would practice a dog pile to win the CIF Championship, because I feel like a lot of years you could feel like that's jinxing it or whatnot. Yeah. But there was something about that particular year and that group of guys. And I mean, we had been to that 2 in a row, and now that was our 3rd.
Yeah.
And we had played in a crazy 2012 one that you weren't part of yet, but that was like extra innings and like 1-1 game into the 9th inning or something. And that, by all accounts, like we really should have won, but we blew it. And then there was the one that you were a part of where we got blown away. Yeah. And so it was just like, I don't know, something just felt like this is the year, this is our time. And I was like, we're going to practice this. Like, I wanted it to be so ingrained in your heads. Like,
we're going to do it.
We're going to do it, and we're going to be good at doing it. Like this, like and we still blew it, but it was fun. It was a really great bus ride home too, though. I remember that we ordered pizzas and picked them up and drove home, and just and so obviously that's got to be up there as one of the best baseball moments. But I'd like for the team and for you and for everything. But could you think of not a non-CIF championship moment, but a baseball moment that let's do it two ways. We'll end with this. Give me a favorite baseball moment that was in college, any one of the years in college, and then end with a favorite baseball moment you had at CVCS. We'll put you on the spot a little.
Yeah, I have, good moments. The college one, we got the opportunity to win our regional, and I got to throw in that game, and we got to play against Azusa Pacific.
Okay.
And they were legit, and it was kind of an awesome feeling to come through in that situation. They had our number in the regular season, and to kind of come through and to kind of solidify us, to kind of push us into the regional was awesome. So
yeah, they were known for their offense. I remember AP those years.
I was lucky, like they just kept throwing a bunch of their lefty hitters. They didn't those were their guys, and I always had a great advantage over that lefty, and that day I felt my slider, and it was good. So I just remember that being clutch, and we all got to go to like Clemson out there for our like tournament. That was an awesome experience. And then in high school, man, I mean, getting to play against those top schools, that was fun. There's no like big one moment. I loved it, like the whole ride. Like I really did. Like I really enjoyed even the butt chewings that came from you. Like it also spun like the culture in a great way. We always were able to razz about it. I think about, we had the old cages. We didn't have the cages that are on the campus now. I think about how AJ and I have talked about it. Or we all had to hide behind the L screen, and while guys were hitting, and just all that this is the stuff you miss. I miss that every day, being with the guys and on that same mission. And you just had everyone on that same mission that those years when I was there, and you don't really get that in college. College, everyone's kind of maybe on different missions and stuff. And that's where I was talking about the good culture and bad culture. I really felt that whole time. I just think playing with all those players like Dylan Baird, Parker Koss was always clutch. It was crazy to just know he was going to come through and get an RBI every single time. I mean, just playing with Fajardo and watching him hit 500 foot bombs. Yeah. Those were great moments. Jonesy, Janky, Johnny, all those guys being around. I definitely miss all of those guys. So it was just a great time. I don't think of I wasn't like AJ or Sam Eichler where I could be I had 12 Ks, or I throw a no hitter, or I threw a shutout. I was always good at giving up one run or something, 1 or 2 runs. So I don't think there was any specific performance. I just that was a great group of guys, and every time I see an alumni game, it's it's awesome. It's just so fun being with those guys and seeing them and stuff.
Yeah, the alumni games are epic, and they're just growing and growing.
And now we're gonna be.
And now this next year's alumni game, Josh Randall's probably gonna start it. And so it's gonna be crazy. Did you have a 4-hit game as a offensive player? Do you remember you ever have?
Probably got 4 bunts down.
Yeah, you were 4 bunts. Oh man. Well, DJ, I was so excited to have you today, and it was cool to catch up. I'm excited to go grab lunch with you now after, and then just we'll continue to tell more stories. But I think you beautifully elaborated on just your career as a college pitcher, also as a high school experience at CVCS, and it sounds like it was really impactful, and I'm glad, and I just know that you're gonna do really well with the athletic directing job and just whatever else you continue to pursue. Shout out to you and Hannah for getting pregnant, and you're such a great guy, great husband. She's awesome, and Ness and I are so blessed to have you guys in our lives. And when he's ready to take ground balls or whatever, let me know. We'll start working on that.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me and just kind of spreading my journey. And thank you for anyone that was listening on that. And Hannah, I'll end on this. Like Hannah is remembers all those like PE memories, and it's funny to have AJ came over the other day, and we were just talking about those old times, and it's cool to like now me, you, and Vanessa and Hannah, we're all like really good friends, and it's cool to see that bond continue to grow. So I really appreciate your time here.
Absolutely. All right, guys, have a good day.
This episode has been a production of the Capistrano Valley Christian Schools Podcast Network. Capistrano Valley Christian Schools is a Christian JK-12 school in San Juan Capistrano, California. Be sure to check out, subscribe to, and leave a review of this show and the other shows on our network on your podcast player of choice. Doing so supports the school community in a multitude of ways. For more information about the CVCS Podcast Network or any of our other shows, check out cvcs.org or email podcasts@cvcs.org. On behalf of the whole network, this is Mr. Jasper saying thank you again for listening, and stay tuned for more.